Ellyn, do you know when you watch true crime, like reenactment shows?
My favorite.
Yeah, they'll be like, the parents freebased cocaine for 2 months while the children were handcuffed to the table. And you see the house they set it in, and it's like a gorgeous 2-story craftsman home that's like immaculately clean that the actors are in. Last night, I drank, listen, I'm never going to win a Parent of the Year award, but I drank an entire pint of tequila, and my son and I played video games until 2 o'clock in the morning. And I woke up this morning and it looked like, I mean, the dog had shit in the living room. The sink was full of dishes. There were flies. Like, it looked like I had freebased crack cocaine for 2 months and had my child handcuffed to the table.
Welcome to Shut the Fuck Up, Nick Lachey. Daisy,
Yeah.
I don't mean to ask the obvious, but I feel like it's my duty. Did you freebase crack cocaine in your home last night? I just want to...
I might have.
Okay, I mean, you did record an episode on shrooms, so I feel like this isn't totally out of left field, but like...
I am still drunk, if we're going to be honest.
Yeah, okay. Kurt really holds that shit together over there. You weren't just like whistling Dixie.
No, he really, without him, I would, would float away.
Right. Okay, great. We all have our strengths, and you are a really funny mom.
What is my strength? Okay.
Anyway, no, you are very, very sweet and calm. I do have a question. I think I've asked you this a long time ago, but I think a lot of our listeners are probably wondering the same thing. Where does that neon ginger come from? Monty's neon ginger hair.
Yeah.
He has been that way since he was a little boy.
Yeah, no, he came out like that, and I was confused. As soon as he came out of me, I was like, who's the mom?
Right.
You know, Kurt and I both have Irish in our backgrounds, and Kurt had red hair when he was little. It turned brown, but you know, his like chest hair still has some auburn.
He is a fucking ginge.
Yeah. He has the red hair and the blue eyes, which is the rarest combination in the world.
Yeah, I say it on I Think Not. They're becoming extinct. They're endangered.
Well,
did he come out of your vagina or your stomach?
He did come out of my vagina.
Oh my God, how was that?
Hard. It was 37 hours.
Oh my God, you know what?
What?
Oh, I hate me right now.
Yeah.
But anyone who listens to I Think Not is going to know exactly what I'm about to say.
Go ahead.
My labor was 42.
Ugh.
Yeah,
I
know.
And did you end up with a C-section?
I didn't end up with a C-section. They were like, hey, we just want to start the conversation about maybe possibly talking about the opera. And I was like, get out. I was like, I have gone this long. I am pushing this baby through my vagina. You are going to help me. So help me fucking God. I am going through this. I have hunkered down. I have prepared myself. My vagina is stretched. Let's get this show on the fucking road, Janet.
Yeah. Could you imagine going through like 40 hours of labor to end in a C? Like,
oh my, no.
You know, in Brazil, they have like this, like a 98% C-section rate because it's like a cultural thing there where you like schedule your C-section and you go get your hair and nails done and like go get your C-section so that you can look great.
I mean, in hindsight, that doesn't sound half bad because I looked like a hippopotamus crossed with a gargoyle for a really, really long time. I was so fucking swollen. Honestly, next time I have a baby, write this down. Yeah. We're going to Brazil.
What took her so long to come out?
Just being a bitch and just being like, this is what it is. I run the fucking show. Yeah. This is the rest of your life.
Get used
Mom,
to it.
Let's fucking do this thing. You know, I have no idea. It was a taste of things to come. Oh, by the way, did I tell you I'm Ellyn Marsh and that's Daisy Egan?
Oh, right. Small detail.
Yeah. I mean, we're 8 episodes in. I figured if they got this far, they probably know who we are. But hi, how are you? My favorite color is pink. What's yours, Daisy?
Purple.
We're pink and purple.
Oh,
we're like fucking My Little Pony up in here. We are jamming through. I'm feeling excited, but I'm also feeling a little nostalgic. This is coming to an end real fast.
It is. And I have to say, I feel like I was very naive leave, I was under the impression that we were coming up on the weddings, and I literally forgot that, like, we haven't met Milton's family. We haven't met Izzy's family. There was so much shit we haven't done yet. And I was like, no, I'm pretty sure they're getting married in the next episode.
Yeah, Daisy was like, should we have like a Zoom with everyone? I was like, I think we have a minute. Maybe. But we are on episode 8. We are 13 days away from the wedding. And we are still at this fucking barbecue. Why is this barbecue lasting 14 episodes? This is the barbecue from hell. Can it stop?
I hate this barbecue so much. It makes me want to crawl back inside my mother's womb and never come out.
Yeah, that is challenging on so many fronts.
I mean, especially because she's dead.
Exactly.
So we pick back up with Uche and Milton. What is the purpose of this conversation? Honestly, Uche, shut up.
He is in these sleeves that are working overtime. Like, bro, go up a size, okay?
Yeah.
We know you got the arms. Like, these sleeves are holding on for dear life. Like, get the large, my man.
Yeah.
Like, do us all a favor. But also, this is how you know I can't be trusted because I know he's misogynistic. I know he's disrespectful. I know he's unemotional. And I still am like, look at those arms. I am how you know that women can't be trusted. It is me.
I mean, I'm clearly more evolved than you are, you know?
Yeah, in so many ways.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't even need to be said.
Right. But this is why when I see a quote-unquote attractive person, it's rare for me to be like, ooh, I want to fuck them, because my first thought is like, where were they on January 6th?
Right.
You know?
Oh, I have some information on that a little bit later.
I bet.
Yeah.
Although I will say I have recently discovered the Hot Lumberjack on Instagram, and I may never leave the bedroom again.
Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, politics, schmolitics. You know what I mean?
He's actually, that guy is totally feminist and awesome. He's like pro-abortion. I mean, you know, pro rights.
Yay, abortion.
Yay. I love them.
Yeah, please, that is going to be used as a soundbite. They're like, and then listen to Tony Award winner Daisy Egan say how much she loves abortion. Great.
I stand by it.
This is going to go viral. But yeah, what is the point of this conversation? Basically, Uche is telling Milton, you know, when we were in the experiment, I never told you anything about Lydia. Fair. He didn't. He's like, but Lydia was in Aaliyah's ear talking about me the whole time. Okay, I actually need you to answer me this question. Do you legit believe that Lydia was positioning herself to get close to Aaliyah in some kind of love triangle situation? Or do you genuinely believe that Lydia loved Aaliyah and that they formed some kind of connection and that whole thing was happenstance?
I think it's probably somewhere in the middle. I don't think that Lydia is like as fucking unhinged and diabolical as people are making her out to be.
I totally agree.
Thank
More
God.
on that later. Keep going.
And we'll hear in a minute from our least favorite person, Stacy, a really great point about this. But like, you know, I think, look, maybe she knew he was coming on the show. Maybe she saw that he was coming on the show and then she was like, oh, that's a great idea. I'd also like to be on that show. Like, who cares?
I don't know if I believe that whole storyline either, but keep going.
Yeah. I think that if she had really wanted to fuck with Aaliyah, she would have done things differently.
Yeah. I don't know what I believe because I agree with you. I think that the internet is being so hard on Lydia.
Me too.
I save the word crazy for really, really specific instances because I myself have been called crazy. I go with it because I'm like, if my emotions, my heightened emotions, my curiosity being gaslit, I mean, listen, the whole Instagram story thing, we have all done that. Nobody listening can say that they have not looked at someone else's Instagram who they used to like, they used to know, they used to fuck, they used to go to school with. It could have been a bully in the school, could have been a girl you fucking hated at work. That is what the internet is for. There is a voyeuristic component to it that we have all participated in. Houston's a big city, but if they all live downtown and they're all working professionals, it is 6 degrees to separation. People know people. So if I am looking at your Instagram stories, that is not called stalking.
No.
That is literally what the internet is for. Everyone is fighting a battle you know nothing about. I don't know her mental health history. I don't know her hormonal shifts. I don't know her family history. But the fact that everyone keeps calling this woman crazy is kind of pissing me off.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's fucking perfect. I get that.
No, I completely agree. It's sexist, and I think there's also a component of racism about like fiery Puerto Rican women are crazy.
Just as I'm saying that, Lydia comes over while Milton and Uche are talking, and she snatches Milton.
She sure does.
She like strong arms him. This man has like a foot and a half on her, and she picks him up and yanks him out of the conversation. And she's like, Milton, 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 Milton. I was like, babe, are you getting a small sum of money every time you say his name? Milton, Milton,
Milton,
Why are you saying his name so much?
Milton, Milton, Milton.
But you know what? When I get upset, when I feel wronged, when I feel unheard, when I feel like I'm being perceived in a certain way,
oh yeah,
my emotions carry me away too.
Listen, I wouldn't be able to be on this show because my brain gets flooded and I can't think properly. I go into freeze mode. You will see me staring at you like a deer in the headlights. My brain just going, like I would never be able to do this.
Lydia comes, snatches him away, and Uche's like, I'm talking to my friend.
Please.
And then Uche's like, are you gonna let her come between us? Yeah. Like, that's fucked up.
No.
Okay, no. Why are so many men working overtime to discredit women on this show? First of all, you're not friends. No. You guys were just on a fucking TV show together. And who is obsessed with who? His loyalty is not to you. Don't fucking gas. Come on, Milton, be a man. Don't let her grab you. Come on, I'm talking to my friend. Again, all in an attempt to make her look crazy and unhinged. Yes, she is upset, but like, no, Milton has no loyalty to you, my man.
Yeah, actually, Uche says that later, unless he says it twice, but I know he says it again. He says, don't let her come in between our friendship. And that's what I said. I was like, the show is about getting married. It's not about making friends. Like, you are not friends.
Yeah. He's like, I really came here to find love, but also I need a new pickleball partner. Like, no.
No. So then Uche decides to go and like debrief the pod squad, but mostly Renee, it seems like. He's like dumping all of this information at Renee, tells him Lydia knew that he was coming to the show and intentionally got cast to sabotage him. Now, Renee and Stacy and Miriam, the, I give people facials with my pussy, and Mira are instantly not having it. But Johnny is gobsmacked.
I literally wrote gobsmacked.
Yeah. Well, she's sitting there with her mouth wide open. Cannot believe what she is hearing. And I have to say, again, my feelings about Johnny turned a little bit again in this episode. And then what does Stacy say?
Stacy's like, is your face okay? Shut the fuck up, Stacy.
Is there something wrong with your face? Fuck you.
And to give you a picture, okay, so if I'm Johnny, Uche is at her 9 o'clock. Stacy is at her 3 o'clock. So Johnny is looking the other way. And Stacy's like, is your face okay? And we see Johnny's head whip to Stacy.
Yeah.
And she's like, why are you looking at me? And she's like, I'm literally not.
Yeah. I hated that interaction so much.
It was so uncalled for. I don't know if Stacy needed the attention to be on her for a minute. Like, Stacy is out to fucking lunch.
She is out to lunch. And then Izzy has the fucking gall to tell Stacy to calm down. And I'm like, really, my dude?
Right. So Uche goes on. Now, listen, I keep going back and forth on Lydia, but we'll get back to that.
Yeah.
And he's like, her goal was to sabotage the experiment for me. And if it was really that, she did it. And I was like,
No, you did it.
You are not going to pass the buck on your bad behavior onto someone else. Like, this man is going to rewatch the show, and I feel an apology video with a ukulele coming on.
Listen, I hope so, except I think he's going to blame it all on editing.
Oh, yeah.
And then Stacy, who, listen, do whatever you want with yourself, wear whatever you want, put as much or as little makeup as you want. People know by now that I am not one to tell somebody how to present themselves, but that is a lot of makeup for a Monday night.
She looks like a ventriloquist's doll.
It's so much.
I don't like judging women either, but like, you're a cunt, so I'm gonna do it. May I interest you in a blending brush, my love?
Yeah.
Because it looks like you put your makeup on an airplane when they have the lights off. We've all done it.
It looks like you put your makeup on in 1987.
Yeah, it looks like you were laying in bed and you didn't want to wake your Mima up next to you, and so you had no light and you were just crossing your fingers that you were putting the right amount on.
Right.
And then you get to the bathroom and you realize you fucking look like a drag queen.
Yeah, it looks like you used highlighter as your base. Oh, listen, I just need to harken back for a moment to our conversation. I believe it was from the last episode where you said that your cat eats a mouse, full, and I said it was disgusting. My dog was trotting through the house with her proud gait going on, and there was something hanging out of her mouth. And I thought it was like a rope toy, and then I thought it was a mouse, and then I was hoping it was just a poop. It was a bird. It was a dead bird. There were feathers all over the house. She had brought it up onto the couch. She had that thing in her mouth for a good couple of hours, just like around the house.
Did you know that it was the bird? Like you let her have it in her mouth and you were like, well, have fun with that?
Yeah, Ellyn.
Okay.
That's what I did. I was like, please bring that dead bird onto my couch.
Well, how come you didn't take it away from her?
Ellyn.
What? What did I do? Are you going to yell at me?
No.
Are you going to threaten to fire me?
Yeah.
Please threaten to fire me. Honestly, I can use the rest.
Ellyn, if you don't stop talking, this is going to end in... I can't do it. No, I ran into the other room. I put my head down on the counter, covered my ears, and started screaming for Kurt and stayed there until he was like, okay, it's taken care of. Anyway, so Stacy looks like she's in a commercial for like rayon dresses from JCPenney in 1987 with like a fan and a smoke machine and that mauve blush. But she does defend Lydia in this moment. She's like, listen, we were in the pods hearing what you're alleging, and Aaliyah came to her in tears when you were shitty to her about her cheating and didn't say a word against you.
First of all, he keeps talking over women and saying how she ruined it, deflecting all of his wrongdoing, saying that he's absolutely innocent in this situation. But here's the thing also, I do acknowledge that editors can make a story, but also you said what you said.
Yeah.
You did what you did. You acted the way you acted, and the receipts are the TV show.
Yes.
That is what we are looking at. Lydia didn't ruin this. You ruined the experiment. You ruined your relationship with Aaliyah. Lydia might have stoked the fire. She might have put a little gasoline on it. Maybe she grabbed some marshmallows and made a delicious s'more. But honey, don't get it twisted. This show of shit is what you have manufactured by your fucking actions. And the women are all saying it's Stacy, it's Miriam, it's Mira. They all jump in to defend Lydia. They're shaking their head. And you know what? They spent like 2 weeks all day with this woman. Like, they wouldn't defend her if they didn't feel called to do so.
Oh, absolutely. And at one point, Miriam says something, and Uche does that thing where he doesn't even look at her, but he holds his hand up.
Oh, he's like he's swatting a fucking fly? Like he's swatting a fucking gnat?
Yeah, and says, Miriam, stop talking. Listen, Miriam may be giving facials with her puss, but she is not here for your fucking nonsense.
But he was so dismissive. He was like swatting Miriam. I was like, bro, are you salaried to be rude to women?
Honestly.
It has to be something. Like, he's got to get some kind of kickback. He's like, stop it, stop it, stop it. And he was like, I want to hear from Stacy. I don't know. He has no issue yelling at women. And then he goes off on Miriam.
Yeah. Because he knows he's losing the fucking fight. He's swirling down the drain. So he's just gonna fucking shoot his shot wherever he can. And he's like, where do you live? Do you live in Saudi Arabia or do you live in Houston? Do you own a business or do you... Look, she probably isn't a fucking pyramid scheme MLM, but like, go fuck yourself.
But also, that's not what we're talking about. I mean,
no.
Yes, I would actually love to know what your job is, Miriam.
Me too.
A classic narcissist move is redirection.
Yeah.
We're not asking Miriam questions about her life and her upbringing right now. We're talking about the situation at hand, my guy.
This is one of those situations where I would have just blanked. I would not have been able to respond, but Miriam is like, nope, no. What I want to know is, why was she cut out of this show? Like, why is this not the fucking Miriam show?
Well, Miriam, it turns out Miriam did make a match. She matched with that guy Connor, and it ended in a proposal, but Netflix didn't choose them to go on to get married.
Holy shit.
So let's talk about that, because there is some other TikTok tea. So Miriam and Connor ended in an engagement, but tell them what we learned the other day about Renee and Carter.
So Renee and Carter not only ended in an engagement, attachment, but they were in Mexico with the rest of the couples. They were at that beach hang.
They were playing cornhole.
They were there the whole fucking time. They just got edited out. I mean, this show, this recap podcast is hard to edit. I cannot imagine.
Oh, yeah.
The hours and hours and hours that those editors sit there just like slicing. It is masterfully done.
If you look on TikTok, there are some places where you can see Renee and Carter in the background, but it's only if you're looking for them. Like, it's just like a pass or a pan. But you know how we work hard, but the internet works harder.
Woof.
And they found some like little things. But Renee and Carter were fucking there. Now, there is conflicting reasons as to why they cut them out of the show.
I have to say, I sort of believe both versions. I think one version is that she had a full-on boyfriend. She denies it, but like, so would I, you know. And the other version is that Carter was abusive.
Yeah.
I 100% believe that.
Because Carter is the one that was like, if I had a daughter, I'd want her to go for a guy like JP. And if you have a minute, go glance at fucking Carter's Instagram because...
Oh, boy.
He was definitely with JP on January 6th.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I'm sorry. He is a red-faced fucking redneck. And I have no patience or time for him. And I did see a headline go by this morning that I didn't click on, but the producers are also being accused of basically witnessing a sexual assault and not doing anything about it. I don't know if it was Carter and Renee, and the producers are all saying like, oh, we didn't know that was happening. Ugh.
Yeah, so there's a lot more. So Miriam did have much more of a storyline than was seen. She had a full-on romance and a full-on proposal. And then Uche storms off and she's like,
I'm not Lydia or Aaliyah. You're not going to make me cry. I'll read you for the filth you are.
She is fully standing up for herself.
Yeah.
I was like, why did Miriam come out of nowhere and chew Uche up and spit him out?
That's what I mean. Like, we need a Miriam show. We need a Miriam spinoff. But this is where I felt like Johnny was, I think, acting a little sketchy. Like, to use Izzy and Stacey's word, unfortunately, I was just sort of like, Johnny, what is happening here? But I will say, aside from Stacey, the other girls really do have Johnny's back.
Wait, what do you mean? What was Johnny doing that was sketchy in that moment?
Maybe sketchy's the wrong word, but like she says it a little later. She says Uche is really convincing. And
oh, right.
And I think that she was sort of quick to like believe what Uche was saying. I think that's why she was so gobsmacked, is she was just like taking Uche's word as gospel. And she was like, Lydia sabotaged you, rather than being like, wait a minute, dude.
But isn't that a very clear depiction about what she has said about her past relationship, and that she is easily emotionally manipulated by men, and that he said something and he was convincing and he said it in such a way that just proved to me that she is a perfect catch for a narcissist.
Can I tell you something horrible?
What?
I sort of relate to her. Like, I see myself in her, and it makes me very sad.
I kind of thought Johnny was a villain, and I have turned 180. I think actually Johnny has been one of the most honest and accountable people here. We'll talk about it when we get to the Johnny Izzy scene, but I'm like, actually, she is one of the only people that showed up very imperfect.
I really appreciate your take, because I think you're right. It's not sketchy. It's that she is easily manipulated. Oh, Johnny.
Because listen, Uche's a fucking lawyer.
Yeah.
He is not stupid. He is a snake oil salesman. He speaks with authority when he speaks. He speaks in very like dulcet tones. He doesn't get emotional, right? Because when people get emotional, you can't take them seriously. He is calculated. I see why he would be a lawyer, and I see why he has the reputation that he has, because he is a very good trickster.
Yeah, he was probably great on his debate team.
Yeah.
So then Milton brings Lydia over. He says, you should have seen that piss I took. It took 20 minutes.
That was edited. Listen, let me teach you all a lesson. If you don't see it coming out of someone's mouth, it is edited. If you see the back of their head, if you see the side of their face, there are so many edit swaps that you're just like, I can't take you seriously.
Although I think he might have said it in I think it came from the last episode where he said, like, I was at the urinal taking a piss.
Right.
But he's so sweet. He sits her down with Renee and is like, can you take care of Lydia, please? Which is is just great. Making sure that Lydia's okay so he can go wrap shit up with Uche. And then Renee goes, who wants more drinks? And I'm like, oh, nobody needs more drinks right now.
Literally nobody needs any more beverage other than water.
Water. Can I have some water with some fucking Hydro Plus? What is that shit called?
I don't know.
Okay.
Welcome to Grab Bag Collab. Liquid IV is our sponsor. They're great for
Liquid IV.
hangovers.
Thanks. So Milton and Uche, they're back at it. Uche says, I don't want this to affect your relationship with Lydia. Really, dude?
He says that, and in the next breath, he's like, but let me show you some screenshots.
Yeah. Then I have an idea. Shut up.
Yeah.
Milton says, I love Milton so much. Milton says,
my mom always told me, like, your perception is like your reality. You and her have very different perceptions. You guys are both grown. You guys kind of both handle it.
Then he starts talking about the Pythagorean theorem, although I didn't know how to write theorem, and my computer wrote theorem.
Let's hear what Milton says, because he gives us a whole explanation. Milton is fluent in nerd.
Yeah, oh God.
He gives us a whole explanation.
Like, this isn't Pythagorean theorem going on. Like, this is like multi-dimensional calculus. You're in an X direction, she's in a Y direction, and I'm the Z direction. Yeah. Like, I'm not even adjacent. Yeah. Just like on a different parallel. It's all perception.
But Milton is the smartest one on this show. Mm-hmm. He is like, you guys are both grown. You are perceiving the same situation in two different ways. Also, Milton is unfazed.
Oh, he cannot be phased, this man. I mean, he is a fucking philosopher. This guy is like fucking Socrates. He's like fucking Confucius. He's like, we all live on different dimensional planes, and I love him. Milton is the biggest fucking surprise of this whole show. Like, we were ready to write him off in the beginning. I feel like the producers were ready to write him off in the beginning. They were like, here's this fucking nerd, and he completely fucking surprised us. And then Uche really wants to win. I think Uche has never met his match, and Milton is like one of those cats who's just like... just like swats him down.
It just makes me think like, babe, he doesn't care. Why do you care so much?
Why do you care? Why do you fucking care? He says, maybe you're just in the honeymoon phase and like right now it all seems really good. And Milton goes, you know what, man? I lived my whole life in a honeymoon phase. I'm like, we all need to be more like Milton. Oh my God.
What would Milton do?
We need shirts.
Yeah. What would fucking Milton do? And also Uche is like, how's your communication been generally? Do you know how it is, Uche? It's none of your fucking business how our communication has been. Who are you?
Yeah.
What right do you have to ask this man about his communication with his fiance who you used to fuck? Like, why are you so pressed? Milton is not.
Yeah, none of your business. This is where he says, like, hey man, don't let her come in between our friendship. Just go away.
Yeah.
Go get a bigger shirt and go away.
Yeah, like, babe, there is no verdict. There is no jury. There is nothing to be won here. But then Milton makes the best comment of the season. Did you catch it?
No, what does he say?
He said, all right, man, I'll see you in the group chat.
Yeah.
That is the best way to say we're not friends, we're acquaintances. Mm-hmm. I don't even have your number unless it was in the group chat. I'll see you in the group chat. I am taking that for the rest of my life. That is the shadiest fuck you, but we have to be cool there has ever been.
We need a What Would Milton Do shirt, and we need a I'll see you in the group chat
Can somebody
shirt.
write this down? We're making I'll see you in the group chat t-shirts.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. That was the best read. I rewound it and I was cackling. I'll see you in the group chat. I'm never going to not say that.
I do sort of wish we could have seen Uche's response because Uche knows that he just lost. You know, he lost that particular debate. Or maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's so fucking clueless.
I mean, we know people that are like so clueless that they could have everything pointed out to them and they're still like, God, everyone else sucks.
Yeah. Yep. That's true. We do. So now we go to Chris and Izzy. Does Izzy not understand how this show works? Has he not watched this show before?
Yeah, or maybe, I don't know, read the manual. I'm sure they gave them, so you're going to be on Love is Blind. Here's what's to expect manual.
Yeah. You will be dating 4 people at once. This is how it goes. You are dating them. This is the language of the show. And you will break up with 3 of them, hopefully, and you will propose to one of them, and they will now be your exes. That is how this show works.
Yeah.
She told me she loved me 4 times. She said she loved you. I counted 4 times. Izzy.
This is where I circle back to actually Johnny is legit. Remember in the first couple episodes, I kept pointing out how needy I thought Izzy was? Remember, I kept saying he just needs so much reassurance?
Yes.
So I went back to a conversation. This is a quote. Izzy says, I want you to be so fucking certain, and I want you to go through all these guys and explore and get deep. And at the end, if you want me, that's what I want. He says that to Johnny. And Johnny says that she likes him, and she also says, I have a connection with someone else.
Yeah.
Fully honest. Then Izzy says, I need someone vulnerable. I want you to tell me, dude, I fucking want you, right? Because he's always fucking needy. Then she immediately, and then she was like, okay, you are who I want, going with her pattern of kind of a fuck boy, kind of going with the guy that isn't the good guy. She told us who she was. She said, I always pick wrong men. I pick the men that are emotionally unavailable. I don't go with the nice guy. Then here's what she does. Immediately, I went back to the episode. She goes back to Chris and says, I'm feeling a stronger connection to someone else. So actually, Izzy, the dippity doodah, Johnny was being fucking straight up with both of you. So go fucking eat that humble pie after you watch this video, because you look like an idiot, my man.
He absolutely looks like an idiot. And you're right. She did exactly what he asked her to do. And it's another instance of her getting manipulated into having feelings that she may or may not have. Ugh.
And then Izzy uses her vulnerability against her and was like, she fucking said I love you like 4 times and like I didn't say it back, which is fine.
Gross.
I didn't actually go and like check those receipts, but don't use her fucking vulnerability going into the experiment, which you all fucking agreed to, against her to then try and make her look like something that she's not.
Yeah.
She showed up. Looking back, you know how we said, like, everyone brings their representative?
Yeah.
Actually, Johnny was really honest from the jump.
Yeah. I think I said that a couple episodes ago when they showed those scenes back to back of her talking to Izzy and then her talking to Chris. And I was like, I think she's legitimately just trying to work it out. I think she's like literally learning something about herself right now in real time and going, oh, I'm learning something about myself, which is more than we could say for everybody else on this show.
Totally agree.
So then Stacy comes up with her fucking clown makeup on. Fuck her, man. She sucks so hard.
Yeah, she really does.
She lays into Johnny, I don't like you, whatever the fuck. Then she says, it's a purse in the pudding?
I don't know.
What the fuck is a purse in a pudding?
Everyone is drunk and has blabbermouth. But, okay, listen. Johnny was not great to Stacy in the pods, like behind her back. Yeah. Fine. But why does Stacy have so much smoke for Johnny? You're supposed to be happy with Izzy. You're out living your life. Be like, listen, the easy thing to do would be like, hey, I heard some shady shit you said. I recognize that was a really odd situation we're put in. Like, do you want to move past it? How many times have you said something that you absolutely are like, can I put that back in my mouth and swallow those words?
A million. Also, I'm realizing now she probably said the proof is in the pudding, not the purse is in the pudding.
What did you say?
She said the proof is in the... I'm an idiot. She probably said the proof is in the pudding. I heard the purse is in the pudding.
Oh,
and I'm like, what is that praise?
What's the proof? What are we trying to prove?
No.
You all have your partners.
Yeah.
You're all say you're happy.
Right. And Johnny says that too. Johnny's like, okay, you guys are happy. We're happy. Okay. And that's the end of it.
Yeah. Stacy left her blending brush in the pods. These are all things that we know to be true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I think that Stacy thinks that Johnny looks like an asshole, and I feel like when she watches it back, she's going to be like, ugh.
Do you think, or do you think she's going to be another one of these, like...
I don't know, actually. I haven't looked at her Instagram or anything.
Yeah.
We should, like, look at her stuff and see what she's saying. I was edited to look like a bitch.
Right.
This is what I believe about these shows. You got to give them something.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you are like a 7-degree bitch, and they made you look like a 10-degree bitch, but you gave them something to carve that quote character out of. Mm-hmm. So if you didn't give him anything, it wouldn't have been there, honey.
I was on a reality show like way back in the beginning before there were reality shows. Yeah, it was awful. It's called The It Factor. I want to get it struck from the record, but I was 20.
Cue everyone Googling the shit out of this information.
You know what? It's fine. Whatever. I was 20. And this is like, you want to go judge people in their 20s? Like, okay, fine. I was a legitimate fucking mess. I had a nervous breakdown 2 years before that. Not even. My head was so far up my own ass. I was a mess. And my joke is that they edited me to make me look angry and bitter. And when I say that they edited me to look angry and bitter, I was angry and bitter. And they just edited the show.
They just used that footage.
Exactly.
You were like, I was also really fun and funny.
Yeah.
But they used the angry and bitter stuff.
Yeah. And you know what? That was fine. That was the role that I played on that show. And now, I'm actually removed enough from it that I can be like, you know what? That's who I was at that time. And like, I would just want to go back and give her a hug and be like, first of all, don't be on this show. Second of all, don't be engaged to this guy. And thirdly, like, all of your wildest fantasies will come true in 20-something years when you are sitting face to face with Ellyn Marsh making a Love is Blind recap podcast. And then I would have been like, what is Love is Blind and who is Ellyn Marsh? Mm-hmm. And what is FaceTime? And what is a podcast?
Right. This got existential real fast. So they're kind of having this 4-way fight. I hope you're happy together. I hope you're happy together. Now I hope you're happy together. Johnny and Chris kind of seem dumbfounded a little bit. And Izzy and Stacey are gross. Izzy's like, roll the tapes. You'll see. I was like, first of all, we will roll the tapes.
Yeah, go ahead.
And also, does Izzy want to fuck Chris? He's like, I'm just looking out for you, man. I love you, man. I just want everything for you, man. Do you want to touch my dick a little bit, man? I mean, can I see your ass a little bit, man? I mean, what? Yeah. I feel like Izzy a little bit wants to see his chocolate starfish.
God, I can't unhear that. In this scene, I am really starting to think that Izzy and Stacey are both like jealous of Johnny and Chris and like trying to prove something. They're way too invested
in other people's lives. Yeah. Absolutely. Move on, because clearly Johnny and Chris have. Yeah. I feel like Izzy and Stacey are actually not happy, but they're like, look at us. We're both attractive. Mm-hmm. We got in this. We don't want to lose. Yep. We're in it. But actually they're not really happy. So they're kind of begrudging everybody else and trying to make a faux storyline. It is so transparent. Mm-hmm. It's like, you guys are on the show. You guys got the trip to Mexico. Mm-hmm. You guys got the wedding. Why are you picking on this couple? Like, move on.
100%. And I think we'll sort of see that come out in their next scene.
Wait, also, if Izzy and Stacey say sketchy one more time, I'm gonna kick a fucking bunny.
And Izzy says it to the fucking squad pod too. They both do. They're like, sketchy, 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 sketchy. And everyone's like, what? Like, go have some liquid IV and take a nap.
This podcast is sponsored by HelloFresh. Are you hungry when you drink?
You might want to have some coffee.
I actually do fucking love HelloFresh. I also love it when people think we get like a kickback from our ads.
It's really cute.
That's adorable. No, I actually really do just use HelloFresh, and I didn't get any money to say that.
No. Although now you might.
I mean, when people use our code.
Oh, yeah, no. Right.
We get the initial payment of the ad, but like if someone uses code 50, I don't get like $1.62.
Right. That's like when I told a friend of mine that I knew somebody who had been in the original production of Parade, and she was like, oh my God, he must be really rich. And I was like, what? She was like, yeah, because he was in the original cast. I was like, oh, you don't know how money works.
You know that the original 29-hour reading of Book of Mormon, they all got the 1%.
Oh, good for them. You know, we were supposed to get that from The Secret Garden in perpetuity, and one of our cast members married Michael David, the producer at the Dodgers, and convinced him to like make a new contract. So we never got any of that.
Nice. Yeah. So fun. Well, I hope they're doing well.
Well, she's dead.
Oh, okay.
So then we go to Milton and Lydia. I just love Milton so much. They're having a conversation. He's trying to he's like, don't let it bother you. Like, why are you letting this man bother you? He's like, you are a fucking grown-ass woman. You have a badass fucking job. You make badass fucking money. Don't let it bother you. And she's like, I know, but he's a douchebag. And Milton says, I've been a douchebag too in my life. It's okay.
I screen recorded that, and I'm going to listen to that for my morning affirmations every morning.
Honestly.
He says just the perfect thing. He's like, you're independent as fuck. Love is Blind needs to release that on Spotify. Honestly, she is down. She is crying. She is emotional. And his only goal is to lift her up.
Am I in love with Milton?
I mean, honestly, between Chris and Milton, I'm like, do I like men? Wait.
Hold on. I feel very conflicted right now.
I'm very conflicted. Will you be my Milton, Daisy?
I will always be your Milton.
If I just call you, will you just be like, hold on, Ellen's calling, and then you just have to give me compliments for like a minute and a half?
Yeah. I love you so much, man.
We're just going to make Team Milton merch at this point.
Yeah. So now we go to Stacy and Izzy. Izzy is so drunk. This is not the time to have a conversation.
It's never the time to have a conversation when you're drunk. There's two things to do when you get home when you're drunk. Fuck or go to sleep.
Yeah.
That's it.
Have some liquid IV, fuck, and then go to sleep.
Go to sleep on your Blissy pillow and your Miracle Made sheets.
Maybe eat some pizza.
But like, honestly, it's never a good idea to have a life talk when you're pumped with alcohol.
Yeah, never. Stacy wants to know why Izzy cares so much about Chris, which is a fair question.
It actually is. I also want to know the answer to that.
And then I think a fair response to that would be, why do you care so much about Johnny?
Right.
And then Izzy says, I saw you railing into her ass and I got so turned on. And I was like, wait a minute, am I watching the same show that you're on? Because where? Can I watch that?
It is so fucking weird. Like, again, inside voices on the outside, you get turned on by her arguing with women.
So awful.
You get turned on by her being completely off the rails and rude to people.
Yikes. Yeah, these two are a fucking toxic milkshake. With a lot of booze in it. And, I wrote, again, that is a lot of makeup for a Monday night. But this is when they go into what they need from each other.
First of all, I don't know half of what Stacey is talking about. Either she's really hammered or I'm fucking stupid. Two things can be true at the same time. But she's like, you said you would cook for me and rub my feet. And he's like, well, I cook for you twice. And she's like, yeah, but what do you do for me? And then Izzy's like, you make me feel like I'm not enough for you.
Actually, he has not cooked for her. He admits that. He's like, okay, fine. I didn't cook for you. I haven't cooked for you.
Oh, wait, did she say she cooked for him 2 times?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
She says that she wants him to be afraid that he might lose her all the time.
What does that mean?
Is this really how you want to live your life? Could you imagine?
No, I don't understand that.
I mean, Ellyn and I are honestly right now fucking speechless. Like, what? You want your partner to be worried all the time that you might leave? Holy cow.
I just don't understand what that means. You want him to feel unsafe in your relationship?
You want him to feel insecure all the time? Like, have you read a book? Like, what? How did that come out of your mouth and you think that that's a reasonable thing to say to a human being? Like, I want to make you feel unstable.
It's crazy.
She wants more foot rubs. She wants rose petals and bubble baths every night. Like, what planet are you on? And you want him to feel insecure?
What planet are you on?
But I do have a serious question for you.
What?
Does Izzy look like a penis?
Does Izzy look like a penis?
Yes.
Because he's bald? Can you say more?
In this scene, I started looking at him and all I could see was a penis, like, talking. A penis with a face.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, he says, you make me feel like I'm not enough for you. She rolls her eyes and then he goes off and literally is crying in the closet. He is sitting in the closet crying and she comes in with her baby voice, which is what she uses whenever she needs to say something even the slightest bit vulnerable. And she goes, why are you crying? But she's like, why are you crying? Were you not just there? Was that not you? Was that?
Yeah, I have no idea. We have launched onto a completely different planet.
You make me feel like I'm not enough for you. Why are you crying? Really? Yeah. What happened to Stacy?
Izzy gets up, slams the doors to let him cry in peace. She is unfazed. She's like, dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, onto some chores. Let me clean the counter. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee.
Something is wrong with her. Like, something happened to her. I don't know what it is, but she's like, I give and I give and I give. She has no feelings about this. It is terrifying, to be honest. So then on the other opposite end of the spectrum, we have Milton and Lydia. Lydia, who everyone is saying is a crazy fucking bitch. They're sitting in bed together, perfectly calm. She's upset.
Mm-hmm.
And then Milton comes in hot with, I gave him some Pythagorean theorem, but you know, Uche's not an engineer, so I was like, you come in hot with that engineer joke.
Yeah. It basically, these two people are just wildly different.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Lydia is emotional. She does wear her heart on her sleeves, and emotions are so confusing. Everybody, you know, like, our core emotions, our core feelings are what make us human. And there are so many different things that contribute to the way that we react and the way that we are with people. You know, some emotions are bad and some emotions are like acceptable, but being emotional is not. I am a person who is emotional, but I can also be very, very, very rational. It's like an ADHD trait. Somewhere in the middle of Milton being very analytical and Lydia being very emotional, there is a place where they can like coexist.
Absolutely. I think that they are a really good example of people balancing each other out, which is a great thing to have in a relationship. This is a surprise, this whole thing. Milton and Lydia, this whole thing is a surprise, like just how healthy it's looking at this point. And this is reality TV, so they don't want healthy. I feel like if they could make drama out of this, they would, but there doesn't really seem to be drama for them to make out of this relationship.
Well, wait till we meet Milton's parents.
Well, yeah, there is that. But I also am somebody who I care what people say and think about me. I wish I could not give a fuck, but I do. Like, it hurts me when people think something that I know is not true.
Oh, when somebody says something I know is not true, I shoot to the moon.
Yeah.
And it's not like an opinion. Like if someone's like, I don't like the sound of your voice, I'm like, well, okay, yeah, you don't like the sound of my voice.
Right.
You don't think I'm funny? Yeah, great. But when someone says something that is honestly untrue about me, I'm like, hold my fucking phone. No.
Yeah.
I'm going to set the record straight. I wish I wasn't like that, but I am.
I don't even set the record straight. I just go and cry and feel horrible that that person thinks that of me. And ugh.
I'll tell you a story. There's this Facebook group that's like an offshoot of I Think Not, and I'm not in it. And someone sent me a screen cap where someone called me a brat. And I lost my fucking mind. I was like, there are so many things you can call me. A brat?
Wow.
I am actually just not that.
No.
I am a cunt.
No, but here's the thing. Like, was it a woman calling you that?
Absolutely.
You are a strong woman who knows what she wants.
I literally joined the Facebook group just to answer this woman back and be like, actually, I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a fucking brat.
That's like the people who were accusing me of mentioning my Tony Award in every fucking episode. I was like, wait a minute. I did set the record straight on that. But I was like, wait a minute. What?
Yeah, it was so not true. Like, if someone were to say, here's $1 million to say that Daisy is a bragger, I would take the $1 million. But that was a bad example. But you are like the opposite of somebody who brags about themselves.
So we're 12 days out. We meet Stacy, who is teaching Pilates, but her lower third says, Stacy, operations manager.
I was like, did Pilates pay for that townhouse, mama? What do we do for that money, for that Mercedes? What do we do?
Honestly. And where are you managing operations? At the Pilates studio? Listen, we all have side hustles. I get it. But like...
She works for her dad, actually.
Does she?
I saw it online. She legit works for her dad.
Look at how surprised my face is.
It's called generational wealth, my friends.
Why don't you have a passport?
Oh, my God.
I would hate that class so much. I love Pilates. That class would make me want to fucking pull my ears out.
Why?
Just...
Okay, you got it. And we're gonna pull in and you're gonna fucking hold it.
like, ugh.
No, I just wrote, I didn't know Pilates was so hard.
Oh, God, it's really hard.
It looks really hard.
It's really hard. And if I had been in that class, they wouldn't have been able to use the footage because I'm the person in the class going like, why I don't like it.
Why does it have to hurt?
Oh, this is the worst. You know, Izzy shows up to have a heart-to-heart with Stacy, and the only thing I think better than having a conversation about your relationship when you're hammered is going to your partner's place of business.
Oh, yeah.
To work on your relationship.
Especially when you have to sit down on one of those transformer things. Well, Izzy is biting his lip again, like he was during the money conversation. And he is really honest. He says he feels unappreciated. And they sort of have a conversation where Stacy just talks in vocal fry and he just nods his head and bites his lip. That's all that happens.
That is correct. And I wrote, can she not say, I'm really sorry you felt unappreciated? Like, she just cannot take responsibility or accountability for anything. She says that she's never been open with other guys like she is with Izzy, which is wild because she is the opposite of open. And then at the end, she uses her baby voice again and she goes, I hate that I made you sad. I had to have the captions on because who can understand what the fuck she's saying? Then she says, I love you, which is their catchphrase.
Oh, yeah, I don't. I would like to, someone should have edited that out. And then he gives a bag of gifts, which obviously Stacy's love language is to receive is gifts. That is blatantly obvious, and I appreciate him leaning into that. What's your love language to give and receive?
What's my love language?
To give, receive.
I like acts of service to receive.
Oh, okay.
And to give, I just prefer not to give much of anything, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I didn't want to set you up for failure on that one, but I haven't gotten anything from you except for hepatitis.
This is legit. Amber and I wanted to get you portraits of your cats in Elizabethan clothes.
Oh my God.
And I kept asking you for pictures of your cats, and you kept not sending them to me. And then I saw your silly bathroom and realized you already, I mean, they're not your cats, but you already have those.
Oh, I totally forgot. You know what? I have so many pictures of my cats, but like none of them are good.
What do you get the woman who has everything?
What do I have?
You have Ellyn in neon right behind you.
Yeah.
You have that table.
The hepatitis.
The hepatitis. What is your love language to give and receive?
Give acts of service and receive physical touch and words of affirmation. I am needy, and I do love like touching, even if it's not like sexual, like even like with friends, like I'm very huggy.
Yeah.
Like even if I'm like sitting on the couch with my brothers, I'm sort of like some kind of like kinetic
that's
thing.
sweet.
I'm sure someone's going to read me for filth in the comments, but
not a grab bag. Our listeners are so fucking nice.
I know, no, not on I think not either. He gives her a coupon for a home-cooked meal. I love a coupon. He gives her a plunger for her shitty attitude. And it was from when she clogged the toilet in Mexico. I thought that was...
Broke the toilet with her diarrhea.
And a framed picture. It's very, very nice, very thoughtful. That was very sweet.
And then she says, I can't believe you did this. Now I feel really bad. Whoa, Stacy.
So now we go to a home movie of Lydia and Milton, and she's complaining again about everything, about the smell of his breakfast, about how gross it looks.
But again, this was another moment where I was like, this couple really doesn't have drama. Like, this is the most they can show is her being like, you're not supposed to eat the casing of the sausage, which, yes, you are. They wouldn't case a sausage if you weren't supposed to eat it, but that's fine. He made sausage and eggs. She says it smells yucky. Like, that's the most drama they can get from these people. Again, it's Netflix. It is a reality show. If there were drama, they would show it.
Exactly. Also, again, he's unfazed. He's like, cool, I'm going to eat my eggs. More for me.
Yeah, I think their dynamic is cute. I do think eventually she will have to ease up, but I think he sort of doesn't mind it and he can hand it back to her. Whatever. I think it's cute. So now we go back to Izzy and Stacy, and Izzy is getting ready for his mom to come over. He's cleaning up for Mama Reina.
Mama Reina.
I love her.
Mama Reina needs a spin-off show.
Yes. She is so cute.
She is so adorable. She is literally breaking out into hives. She actually has hives on her neck.
Oh, poor little mama.
I don't know if it's the dogs or the cameras.
She's like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. And she's like, oh, I need some Benadryl. Izzy calls Stacy sassy. And let me tell you something. You can call me a brat if you want. If you call me sassy, I will take a pair of kitchen tongs and I will turn on the stove and I will heat them up until they are red hot. And then I will reach into your throat and I will pull out your vocal cords.
Wow. That is Aggressive and specific.
Don't call me sassy.
Noted.
Izzy is fucking nervous as hell, man. Stacy comes in the door. Izzy is bouncing his leg. He's chewing his lip. Izzy is nervous.
Yeah. But did you see that hug that Mama Reina gave Stacy? She gave her a real heart-to-heart, both arms held in close hug. It was very precious. There's very specific ways to hug to show how you feel about someone. You can tell Mama Reina has like a very warm heart.
Absolutely. She's so great. I literally wrote, can Mama Reina be my mother, please?
Aww.
Because mine is dead.
So between both of my podcast hosts, we got like no parents. My fucking dad, Joey's fucking dad, your mom, Rabia's dad. We're really low on parents.
So many dead parents. I'm trying to think if I have any other podcasting partners, but I don't.
You know, she likes to do shit solo. She's difficult to work with. So Mama Reina is like, I'm worried. You know, are you the one? Asking Stacy, but asking very gently and lovingly. And Stacy's like, tap, tap, tap. Is this thing on? She's like, we are real.
Yeah.
We are really so real. This is really real. The realness of the real love.
I can't explain it. I was like, obviously you can't explain it. You sound like a fucking dingleberry.
Sounds like a dingleberry that came out of Izzy's chocolate starfish.
That's called a callback.
And then Izzy says that Stacy loves him unconditionally.
Thank you for telling me that. And I just want you to know, yes, he's my baby. He's this, he's that. But I also think of you because this is you two together. I don't want you to get hurt. I don't want him to get hurt. All I want is just for y'all to be happy. And I know that it's not gonna be easy.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that my son does his part, you know, and takes care of you because it's just a family.
Yeah. Thank you so much for saying that.
Of course, because you're gonna be my son's wife. How can I?
I know, it's wild.
I think this is perfectly acceptable way to say she's got reservations, she's worried, but all that matters is the love between them. I mean, I think it's perfectly fine to express reservations. Again, we'll get to Milton's family.
Ooh.
But Mama Reina is emotional and she's smiling and she's crying, but it feels like she gives her blessing to them, right?
It does. You know, I think she is cautiously optimistic, as I think is appropriate. And then Izzy goes to give her a hug and lays on top of her. I was so uncomfortable.
I lay on top of my mom.
Yeah, but you don't have a penis.
Fair. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You have a son. Are you like a boy mom?
Excuse me?
You know, like toxic boy mom syndrome? You're not like a boy mom, right?
What is that? What's a boy mom?
Oh, okay. I don't have the time or the crayons.
Is that like a transgender thing?
No, like a boy mom. Like there's a whole thing like, I'm a boy mom. It's that like Oedipin thing where like moms are like in love with their sons and their sons can do no wrong.
Oh, no.
Like my ex-husband's mom was a boy mom.
No, you should have heard us playing video games last night. I was calling him a dickhead. I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Fair enough. Yeah, I can't imagine you being a toxic boy mom. Google toxic boy mom when we're done recording today. But we end up our episode today, Milton, who drives a BMW. Okay, Milton.
I did notice that.
And they're going to Milton's parents' house. Buckle up.
Wow. His mom is not fucking around. We meet his sister, Jessica.
Oh, boy.
Jessica also not here for your shit. His mom, Rita, and his dad, James, and Jessica's husband, Langston, and their daughter, Kobe?
Yeah.
Milton's name is James. Is this the first time we learn that about him?
Yeah, unless maybe he said it in the pods or something and they didn't say it.
I feel like he said, like, I go by my middle name.
The minute they walk in, Mama Rita's like, oh, I hear an accent. And Lydia's like, yeah, I'm Puerto Rican. And Mama Rita goes, okay.
Ooh, yeah, what was that?
I was like, we are jumping out of the gate with the microaggressions.
Yikes.
This whole portion of the episode is so uncomfortable.
Yeah, it is like chewing glass. It is not fun. Mama Rita is very protective of her little boy, her very giant little boy. And then we have a whole sequence where Lydia is talking about why she loves Milton. He is everything I've asked for in a guy. And cut to Milton trying to open a bottle of wine with his teeth.
That is 100% edited.
Yeah, but I will say that was nice comedy.
It was very nice comedy because she was saying, I've never been loved like this before. And Milton's like, "Arr, arr, 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 arr." He's like a puppy playing with a toy. He's literally trying to open a bottle of wine with his mouth. It was hilarious. It was so obviously edited to be that way. But you know what? We're here for the comedy.
We are.
And they're asking all the questions. What do you do? And then Mama Rita is like, oh, I always love when I see women in the STEM community.
Mm-hmm.
What's your last name? And then Sister Jessica's like, don't get it twisted. She's going to CSI your ass and look up everything she can find on the dark web about you.
She will know your credit score before you leave this house.
They're asking Lydia what made her do this. And she's talking really, really vulnerably about her past. And she's sharing. And then Mama Rita, who I'm not convinced is like not Elsa, the fucking snow witch or whatever, says this.
Just curious on what someone 30 would be interested in a 24-year-old.
Wow.
Wow. I didn't know I was going to say this today, but shut the fuck up, Mama Rita.
Yeah.
She's literally sitting in a blazer in her own home. Like, fucking relax, okay? We're all here having a picnic. And I don't know if they're gonna make it. I kind of think they should just, like, date for another year, if I'm honest. Whatever. But also, don't age shame her. Like, we're not doing that today. I think Milton is too young to get married, but we're not gonna shame the age gap.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody is fucking different. Mm-hmm. Everyone is on a different fucking journey. I think that's actually really, really misogynistic because if that was a woman who was 24 and a man who was 30, that question would not have been asked.
Yeah, you're probably right. And Milton's established. Milton is the most mature person on this show anyways. And his mom should fucking know that. Although he still can't get the wine bottle open.
He's really struggling. Bless him. And he's an engineer. That is curious.
That maybe the wine key was broken. One of them asks, what don't you like about Milton? And she's like, well, he leaves stuff around the house. He left a plate on the couch. Meanwhile, Milton is sitting on the counter with his feet on the counter.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually a little surprised that Rita wasn't sort of offended by this comment. Like, if she's going to get on Lydia for her accent and being Puerto Rican and her last name and how old she is and all this shit, I'm surprised she wasn't like, well, I raised him. What do you mean he leaves stuff around the house?
Right, right.
But that didn't seem to happen. And then his sister wants to know why he wants to get married. And then his sister's husband, Langston, sort of pipes up and he's like, well, he has said in the past that he wants to settle down. Like, cool it, Jessica. Take a deep breath.
Sister Jessica is doing too
much.
She is doing way too much. She is embarrassing herself. Like, I appreciate that in any relationship, there should be a healthy amount of, like, skepticism from a family. And I appreciate that in this situation, this whole experiment, there should be a healthy amount of skepticism. But it's like I always say, it's the how, not the what. She's so sassy and domineering.
Yeah.
I don't begrudge these families for asking these questions, for protecting their kids or their brothers.
Sure.
But, like, also, you're hosting someone in your home.
And you're being incredibly rude. And Milton even says, like, can we stop with the interrogation? And Jessica's like, I've only asked you one question. But I think he means of Lydia, not of him necessarily. Like, they are not making it easy for Lydia at all.
And then finally, Sister Jessica, again, doing too much. She's like, this just all seems phony. This is phony. I was like, Jessica, this isn't going to age well.
If my sister behaved this way to a partner that I was bringing for her to meet for the first time, I would be furious.
This is a conversation you have, like, on your family text chain when the cameras aren't on. It was inappropriate. And I don't know. I guess I'm a little old school in the sense that when someone is in my home, it is my job to make them feel comfortable. And they are doing the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, when I was there, you know, I know you don't like me, and you did. You really made me feel warm and welcome.
People are going to start believing us. You have to stop. People are going to be like, what's the beef between Ellyn and Daisy?
No, I legitimately love you. I said to Ellyn earlier, like, if I were to say how much I actually love you, you'd try to get a restraining order.
Let's try it. So this is the time Mama Rita sits down for the job interview. That is the mom heart-to-heart, which also includes nosy-ass Sister Jessica.
Yeah. She does not belong there. They do not trust Lydia at all. They say right out, like, oh, that sounded like a scripted answer. Like, you're saying all the right things.
Yeah, so they're sitting there, they're asking questions like she's interviewing for a fucking mid-level data entry position. And Lydia's giving really heartfelt answers.
The other day I was talking to him. I was like, you're not my first love, but you're definitely a lot of first. First guy to treat me so damn good. He treats me like a queen. And I've never had that. I never had someone who hugs me and holds me tight and says, I never want to let you go. He texts me when he's doing an overnight shift. I love you. I cannot wait to marry you. And that's the guy that I'm crazy for, you know?
And then Mama Rita says, you're scripted. You know a lot of the answers.
Maybe she knows a lot of the answers because she's thought about what she loves about him and why she wants to do this. Maybe she has done a lot of thinking and self-reflection and considering. Maybe that's why she knows the answers.
I totally agree. I thought that was so off-putting. Here's the thing about Milton's family. His home is clearly not warm.
Mm-hmm.
They are not affectionate. They seem very cold and very judgmental. They have obviously afforded their children wealth and education, but this family is fundamentally lacking any kind of emotional depth.
Yeah.
It is actually really sad. And then it brought me back to, remember when Milton was telling us about his surgery?
Yes.
And he was in a lot of pain, but he did his best not to show it. He said something like, but some tears got through anyway. And I was like, so again, he's at his most vulnerable. He's just come out of surgery. He's dealing with a lot of physical ailments, and he's scared to show his family his emotions. I also get the feeling, because you remember in the car, he was like, I'm really, really not psyched about this. I get the feeling he's not close to his family. That's fine. Every family dynamic is different. And you are entitled to ask questions about your intentions when it comes to your child.
But not like this. Yeah.
It's so off-putting.
It's sad. And then Jessica's saying, I know James Milton.
Do you think that's rude that they're calling him James?
Yeah. Yes.
Like, Milton is the Miltoniest Milton there's ever been.
Yeah. If ever there were a Milton, it's Milton.
Right? And so if he's like, I want to go by Milton, and they're like indignantly calling him James, is that rude?
I think so. I mean, it's not exactly dead naming, but you're not hearing your loved one. You're not listening.
It's like they all went out of their way to call him James. I couldn't even call him James if I tried. He's a Milton.
I dated a guy named Jack for a long time, and his real first name was Jason, and his mom called him Jason all the time. It was weird. I was like, but don't you hear him calling himself Jack? Like, anyway. Yeah, this a lot happening. But she says, I know when he's happy, I know when he's sad, I know when he's cold, I know when he's hot, I know when he's up, I know when he's down, I know when he's Then they said, do you have any questions? And Lydia says, will you be upset if we don't name our kid James Milton Johnson the 5th? And Jessica's like, the 4th. And her mom goes, no, the 5th. I'm like, oh, huh.
Yeah. Shut up, bitch. Shut the fuck up, Sister Jessica.
I mean, look, I could get up on my soapbox about naming your children after you, but I won't. I'm Jewish. We don't do that.
I love Jewish names. Our lawyer just had a baby, and her name is Nava.
Oh, that's pretty.
I was like, that's such a pretty name. Then Lydia, in a very nice way, was like, what are your concerns?
Yeah.
I felt like she wanted to be like, what the fuck is your problem?
Yeah.
But she nicely was like, what are your concerns?
Yeah.
Jessica basically was like, love is big. Yeah, great. Okay, love is big. I get it. Listen, I have been divorced. I've been in relationships. I see things. I'm perceptive. Love is not enough to have a happy, long-withstanding, successful relationships in the best of times. Take time, effort, compromise, patience, intention. You do entangle finances. You entangle religion. You entangle in-laws. And I get that. And Lydia is like, listen, I'm 30. I've worked on myself, and Milton is my reward. Yeah. I was like, that's very sweet.
It is very sweet, except I will say that, like, she was with Uche in one form or another 3 months ago. So I don't know how much self-work and reflection she's done.
We need to look up the timing of this, because they met in 2020. Even Uche said, like, she was in a really bad place. So I think she had a family member pass, because they said she had, like, lost somebody. already. But I don't know. I mean, maybe Uche was the last straw and she's like, this is my fucking pattern of toxic men.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to date a nice guy. Like, I did that. I finally was like, you know what? I'm going to date a nice nerd.
How'd that work out?
He's adorable. And then Jessica says, I just don't see it yet. Okay, babe.
You decided that before they even walked through the door.
This family confuses the shit out of me. You know how I was saying Milton can be a little cold, a little analytical. This is obviously where it comes from.
There's so much like internalized hatred on this season.
Oh, yeah. A lot. This season is a fucking disaster. It is a disaster area. It is a crime scene.
It is a literal crime scene.
I want to watch it all over again with new eyes. I wish it's not going to be over soon. I love it so much.
I know. We need the other couples. Could you imagine making it to the engagement and then Netflix being like, no? Like, what?
Yeah. We're going to find out what it is. I'm going to do some, I haven't had time this week to do some sleuthing because I've had my head up my own ass, but I'm going to do some internet sleuthing and we're going to come with some tea next week. That's our assignment.
You've had a couple of things on your plate, to be fair.
Just a couple.
If Netflix was smart, they would release all the, you know what I mean? Like they would address all of this. I mean, they can't legally probably put themselves at risk, but...
The next episode, we're trying on dresses and tuxes and...
I hate the dressing episodes. I hate them.
Do you know I just told this story on I Think Not, on Swamp Talk? When I got married, I bought my wedding dress when I was working at Seattle 5th Avenue. I was on my lunch break in Seattle. I walked down to the Nordstrom in downtown Seattle. I picked a dress out of the BCBG section, and that was my wedding dress. I didn't have a try-on session. I didn't go to a bridal shop. I bought it on my lunch break. They're like, what did you do on lunch? I was like, I grabbed a sandwich and my wedding dress. And Joey goes, that's the most Ellyn thing to have ever Ellyned. I was like, yeah.
I loved my wedding dress. It was so pretty. I actually loved my wedding. It was beautiful, and the food was great, and the dessert was excellent. It was just the person that I was marrying that was wrong.
Can you post pictures on our Patreon?
Oh, if I can find them. It's from 20 years ago.
They had cameras back then.
No. Actually, you know what we did have was the disposable cameras that we put on the tables, and I never got them developed.
That was a sign.
Yep, sure was.
Well, Daisy, this train is coming into the tracks, and I love it so much, but we have episode 9 coming very soon. Any final thoughts going into the weddings?
I have a feeling that Stacy and Izzy are going to say yes just because they don't want to have failed. They want to win.
Okay.
I hope that Milton and Lydia say, well, I think you're right. I hope that they date for a year. I think that probably Milton's family is going to get in his head. That wedding is going to be interesting to watch. Just like the shade coming from his side of the...
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I was thinking there are so many people who dislike Lydia, but there were so many people that disliked Raven.
That's true.
Last season. And everyone made a 180 because it's like, number one, people change, hard people soften, you see people's true colors. And I think we're seeing like a softer side of Lydia. And I wonder how that's going to be. I am really, I'm at my wits with people calling her crazy. I really am.
I am too.
Because we can talk about this more, but like I do believe to a certain degree people meet people where they're at. And I do believe that Uche probably drove her a little crazy. I'm interested to see her getting ready for the wedding and, you know, seeing the softer side of her getting ready for marriage, if that's what they choose. I kind of just want them to like date for another year and see what happens. But, you know.
Oh, God, I can't wait.
Till the next episode, Tony Award winner Daisy Egan, I love you so much.
Love you, Ellyn Marsh.
All right. Thanks, everyone. See ya.
See you soon.